Yeah, they have small. Yeah.
Shemsi, rather than have a debate, can I ask you, what's the biggest obstacle to you becoming Christian?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
And what was the biggest thing that doesn't make sense? Just
I can't become a Christian because a Christian is no way you're telling me God become a baby.
right, become a baby.
The common sense doesn't accept it.
Okay, yeah.
Nothing except, you know, God when He create us, God is the Almighty.
Sure.
When God create us, He create us with the tools.
Yeah.
Those tools, it goes in line with His revelation.
Sure.
So those tools, sound reasoning, natural inclination.
Sure.
Naturally, all of us here we know it is impossible for someone to be perfect all the time and imperfect at the same time. Do you agree with that?
For someone to be perfect
all the time and to be
imperfect
at the same time.
So really what we're talking about is a
do you agree with that?
Union, yes.
No, do you agree with that?
Of course.
Do you agree that it's impossible? Doesn't make any sense?
Yeah.
So when Jesus...
If it's the same person, yes.
Yeah, but okay, Jesus is God. Jesus is God.
Huh? Jesus is God. God is dwelling in Jesus Christ.
No, okay. Jesus is God.
See, this is important. I don't want to play semantics because we're too old
to
be doing this.
Thank you very much. I'm not that old, by the way. I'm young anyway. I don't know about you. I've been coming straight for you since I was young, but I'm not that old.
If you think of this concept that God is a baby, a fleshy baby who goes to the toilet, who does all the things. You know, when you think of God in those terms, I can understand it. But if we see this, could I just borrow your water? Okay, but if you could see God with His Spirit dwelling in a human being, then it does make sense, because God can't be defiled if He's existing in this bottle, can He?
Is God bigger than His creation?
Say again, sorry.
Is God bigger than His creation?
Bigger than His creation, yes.
Bigger. So when He was inside the baby's womb, the baby's body, if He went inside the baby's body, He had to change to become smaller than a baby to go inside the baby's body.
But God hasn't any confinements.
I'd ask you that.
That's my answer.
When He was inside the baby's body, He's Mary who's bigger than Him.
Of course.
Bigger than God.
No, bigger. See, when we're dealing with spiritual and flesh, they're two different things. No, let me explain.
Come on, man. This is semantics now.
Again, am I right in thinking, according to the Quran, that God said, "Let it be," and it was? We're talking about the incarnation, Mary, the Virgin.
No, not incarnation. No. Allah mentioned the Quran. Let me correct you. No, you have to make a mistake. Allah mentioned the Quran. إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب ثم قال له كن فيكون. That the similitude with Allah, of Jesus with Allah, is like Adam, created from the dust, and He said be, and he was. So Adam was created by the word, and Jesus created by the word be. But hear me out, according to your Bible, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word is God. And then the word became flesh. Not entered, and became. Became flesh.
No, this is really important. That's why I came here.
So became flesh, If He became a baby, He became a baby. Right. Yes? That doesn't make any sense. Understand?
Became flesh,
He became baby then.
Right, did He become a baby?
That's what He said, He became baby, He became flesh.
Okay. Will you bear with me? Because I think this is one of those... When we talk about Jesus being God, I wish Christians would spend more time trying to explain how could this be, as opposed to just making a statement, this is God, and this is God, and this is God. So you just used a verse, about how could the word became flesh.
Who's there?
To be looking at these.
Who's there?
You don't want to know, Shemsi. This is a twice convicted rapist who transitioned to a woman and was put in a woman's prison and raped 2 women while he was in prison.
No.
See, okay, we can talk about the religious side of things. My wrong folder. Yes, Satan. Because where there's absence of God, there's not a vacuum. The devil gets in.
But the Christianity is not doing nothing.
Oh, you say that. I tell you they're doing something.
No. We have 4 churches behind my house. All of them closed down. 4 churches.
My church is not. My church.
I didn't say every church. I said I have 4 churches behind my house. Literally, no one is there. Empty.
What congregation were they then?
I'm not sure.
Church of England or?
I don't know if Church of England or Church of Ireland. But I know.
Yeah, the Catholic Church is big.
Full of
babies. Full of babies.
Full of babies.
Because if a church hasn't got babies, it's dead. It's dying.
Wallah, come to Islam, man.
Okay. Yeah. So what we're talking about, we're looking at this verse. I'm glad you know it. You're a patient man.
I don't know about that, man.
No, I've seen the last couple of weeks. Whoa, someone's poking the bear. Huh? He's not the bear. No, I have. I've seen you being pricked. You've been pricked.
You know, so
yeah, Shmsy. This might help. All I want
you know what? No, I agree
know,
sometimes anyway.
All I want to try and do is explain what I believe the Christians say, not trying to convince you to believe what I say. Does that make sense? So when we look at the word, and the word became flesh and dwelt among us, we've seen his glory. The Greek for dwelt is tabernacle. Literally tent. In the Old Testament, God's presence resided in a tabernacle called the tent of meeting. Here in the New Testament, God is literally dwelling in the human tent of Jesus Christ.
No, doesn't say it. No, wait, look what it says. Look,
tabernacle.
No, but look. Tabernacle for what? Which word is it?
Yeah, tabernacle.
For dwelt.
For dwelt.
No, but not for flesh.
No, for dwelt.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so he became flesh, then the flesh dwelt.
And the
so he became what?
Yeah, he became flesh.
What is the flesh? What is
dwelt
no,
among us.
I know, of course, flesh dwelt among
yes.
But he became what?
Right, he became flesh is a term used for
No, what is the flesh?
into the flesh.
No. He became flesh. What does it mean?
Okay.
He became a baby.
He can't. See, this is where in both in agreement. He can't.
But he said became a baby.
Okay,
Then he became flesh.
Shmsy, let me answer.
So that was sorry. The translation. No. You know translation became. Because you said your translation dwelt.
Yes,
this is something goes. No.
Right.
Dwelt as a baby.
Yes.
This is something goes. He's not saying he dwelt amongst us straight away. No. He became flesh first.
Yeah.
Then the flesh dwelt and dwelt. Yeah.
Okay.
So you are digressing.
No. The statement is became flesh, and we understand that by the following word, which says dwelt. This is what Christians believe. Christians believe that Jesus Christ dwelt in the man. And can I just read you? Rather than my opinion, I want to give some evidences. So you've got in John 1, 4, 8, 10, whoever has seen me has seen the Father. Do not believe that I am the Father and the Father is me. The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own, but the Father who dwells in me does his work.
No, wait, no. Step by step.
That's why.
Step by step.
Dwelt again.
Who dwelt in him? The Father.
Yeah.
But for Jesus dwelt in the baby's body, not the Father.
No, the Father dwelt in Jesus' body.
No. Before Jesus became a baby, who was God? There was how many God there was before?
There was only one God. There only
define them. The Father.
Yeah.
The Father and who?
The Father, the Son.
Okay. Who became flesh?
The Son is the Word, which is an eternal attribute of God.
Who became flesh? Who became flesh?
The Word.
Is that the Father?
That's the Word.
Is that the Father?
That's the Word of God. Before he became flesh. When he became flesh, then
just
he was
make
the
it simple for the layman. Make it simple for men in Brixton, man them in Brixton, man them in West London.
They're not simple. They're clever guys.
No. Make it simple for everyone. No. Simple.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Right.
Did the Father become flesh, or the Son became flesh? Who became flesh?
Did the Father become flesh?
Or the Son? Who became flesh?
The Father became flesh and was known as the Son. That's the answer.
No. That's a heretic belief.
Entered into the
according to according to no.
Oh, yeah, I could have strayed
according
into heresy.
To, of course, that's what you believe. If you believe the Father and the Son are one, the Father is the Son and Son is the Father, that's a heretic.
No.
Do you believe that?
No, say that again. You're speaking fast.
Do you believe? Okay, let me slow down. No problem. Let me slow down. Do you believe the Father is the Son and the Son is the Father?
No.
That's it. So why play with words?
No.
So therefore,
is the Father the Son?
No, hear me out.
You said, is the Father the Son?
Yeah, is it? So who became a flesh?
The Father.
Who became flesh?
The Son came from the Father.
Even that. Who became flesh? Who became flesh?
The Son.
Who became the Son?
Yeah.
It's not the Father.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we bring in the Father.
But the Father can't become the Son until he becomes flesh. This is what we're talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we become flesh. Flesh will be human body.
Okay.
Human body.
Yeah. Look.
That's contradiction. Wallah, you know that deep down.
Shmsy, look.
Wallah, deep down.
I'm not trying to sell you a false
deep down doesn't make any sense.
But you know what? Then we've got the church also confirms that in him the fullness of deity dwells in bodily form. Corinthians 2. The fullness of deity dwells in bodily form. The dwells in Greek.
So the greatest
kataoika, meaning to inhabit or have an abode.
So the greatest was inside God. Do you believe that God is the greatest?
He is. He's fantastic.
Okay. According to the Old Testament, what David said or Jacob he said, the heavens and the earth cannot contain you.
Yeah.
Let alone my temple.
Okay.
So that shows us God is greater than the creation.
No, you've got a good point.
But is God greater than creation?
So what you're saying is God is so great he cannot be contained in an object.
No. Is God greater than his creation?
Because he is.
He's greater than creation. All the time, greater than creation.
Space, matter, creation, everything.
Step by step.
I agree with you.
Is God greater than his creation all the time?
Yes.
So when he was inside the baby, who I am big than a baby, greater than a baby, who is the same God who is greater than his creation all the time, if he becomes smaller than his baby?
What you're trying to say is, if something is so great, how can it become so small?
Yeah, if all the time.
Shamsi, God can do anything.
No. If you
He's not confined. God doesn't have a bodily form.
Let me.
Am I right? Can I just come back to you?
Okay.
God is not confined by time, space, and matter. Agreed?
Now, before let me say.
Yeah. But I'm trying to answer.
I have to answer. I'll ask a question. Firstly, what you just did, you have twisted between what God is and what God does, because you said God can do everything. Why would you have to let me finish?
Anything.
Yeah, no, let me finish. You said God can do anything.
Yeah.
What we say, God has attributes which make God. What is God?
Yes.
That's what is God. Does not change whatsoever. For example, because there's a difference between what God is and what God does. God spoke to Moses, he never spoke to me. God spoke to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never spoke to you. So God, you're with me, yeah? God destroyed some nations, but he never destroyed the other ones.
Yeah.
So these God's actions. What we're talking about here, we're talking what God is. What God is does not change his perfection. Meaning that God doesn't go and get his perfection. For example, what God is the greatest all the time. Do you agree with that?
I do.
So if God is the greatest all the time, by definition, it's illogical, irrational paradox for the one who is great all the time to become small.
To come into a small place.
Yeah, it's a paradox.
Okay, well, you know what? This paradox can be resolved.
No.
I'm going to answer your question.
I'm here.
All we have is the Ark of the Covenant.
Just answer me. You said.
Can I just answer?
No, but you
please,
said. No, but please.
I don't want to get you excited. I don't want to get you excited.
You're going to get me excited. That's what you're doing.
Man. No,
but again. You agree with me. God is the greatest all the time.
I do 100%.
Greater than his creation.
Yes.
By definition, you are negating for God to become smaller than his creation any time. Do you agree with that?
I understand the logic that you're trying to explain to me. I understand it.
No. Step by step.
However,
when you say I have to cut you off. Sorry, I apologize. If we say God is the greatest all the time, who is greater than his creation all the time, by definition, it's impossible who is greater than his creation all the time to become smaller than his creation any time. Do you agree with that?
Why?
Because you already affirm he's the greatest all the time.
But do you agree with me, Shamsi? Can I just say a few things? I don't want to get... See, I know he's had a good day, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Bad day.
We'll finish on this one.
Yeah.
I believe God is the creator of time, space, and matter. And time, space, and matter have no limitation on God. He is above and beyond, in, out, all over time, space, and matter. He's the master of it. And as the master of time, space, and matter has no barrier for him to want to do whatever he wants. You cannot put a lock and a door.
I'm not asking you that. Is God bigger than his creation? That's my question.
Yes.
Is the baby that Mary had, that baby's body, that baby's body,
tiny little
that baby body, that even when he was inside, is God greater than it all the time?
When you mean greater, you mean in size? Is this what we're talking about?
God, that's what exists. That's God exists.
God has no body, you understand?
No, what do you mean by body?
Right, I understand where you're coming from. Shamsi, I think, you correct me. Shamsi is saying, and it makes a lot of sense, God is so huge. How could God, can I just answer Shamsi's question? How could God diminuate himself to the point that he can enter in at the kind of almost like a DNA. Really, this is what you're trying to do. How can something so big fit into something so small? Well, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he entered into creation in the Ark of the Covenant.
That's another paradox. Another paradox. Even paradox. Wait, brother. So forgive me. No, Jews is not proof. Jews believe Jesus was a bastard. Do you accept that?
The Jews believe that
Jesus was a bastard.
Which Jews?
The Jews at that time of Jesus in the Talmud believe that he was a bastard.
My church is completely foundation on Judaism.
No, but I'm saying you can't accept the Jew. Did the
Not
Jews?
all the Jews.
Okay.
No, of course.
Okay, so Okay. My point is, look, you are bringing another contradiction. What I'm saying to you,
right?
Jacob said, "Oh God, the heavens and the earth cannot contain you. Let alone my temple." Because when you say God has a body, I don't know what do you mean by body. Because God exists. No. We, as a Muslim, we don't negate or affirm. Because we have to ask, what is the meaning of that body? Are you saying God has a body like creation?
Maybe.
Are you saying God? Are you saying God has a body like creation? We say no. But if you say God has an essence, God exists because anything exists by itself. He has an essence. The word of His Majesty. Essence. The word of His Majesty. We say yes, it has an essence, but we don't use the word body because it has different meaning. Now, if God has an essence, because God exists in a reality, and everything in reality exists has attributes, and those attributes cannot exist by itself. It has to exist in essence.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Now.
So God is the greatest all the time. That His nature. Do you agree that His nature to be the greatest all the time?
Yes.
All the time.
Nothing greater than
So when He was all the time, you know, when you say that, you agree by default,
I know where you're going.
you agree with me, by default, He's not, it's impossible, who is the great all the time, to become smaller than a fetus or a baby's body,
Shamsi,
because that God against His nature doesn't make any sense. I call you to call who will. Let me finish. Wallahi, we keep saying it over and over again, and I will finish with this. Allah says in the Quran, look how Allah describes Himself. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say Allah is the only one, the unique. Allahu Samad, master, self-sufficient. He's not in need of nothing. Everything is in need of Him. لم يلد ولم يولد. He begat not, neither was He begotten. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. There is nothing like unto Him. There is nothing similar to Him. Man who has PhD in Oxford University can grasp it. A shepherd in his farm can grasp it, because this attribute of God is the God of everyone. But when you come to definition of your God, you have to literally struggle and wrestle and do boxing and get your sound reasoning, try to accept it.
Sure. And Shamsi, just before I go again, I'll start where I finished. Ask for God's blessing on Shamsi.
May Allah guide you to truth.
And what I think we both agree is God has no limitations, and as a God who has no limitations.
No, I don't agree with that. No. What do you mean? No. I don't agree with that.
And I invite you to
okay, take care of yourself. Let me define that. When you say God has no limitation, what do you mean in His power and His attribute, or you mean God Himself? Because when you say that, therefore God is mixed with His creation, out of His creation. No. Al-Sunnah wal-Jama'ah always, I'm a Salafi. We always, because we stay away from these philosophical terms. These philosophical terms, you have to say, what do you mean by that? You mean God has no limitation in His power, in His knowledge? So what we say, God has the essence which separate from His creation. That's what we say, and it's the greatest all the time, the biggest all the time. If you say it's the greatest, the biggest all the time, by definition, if He becomes small, He cannot be the same God from His nature to be the greatest all the time.
I agree with Shamsi. If God has essence,
that's it.
Go away. There's no limitation.
Right.
But Shamsi, anyway, God bless you.
Take care. May Allah guide you to truth.
And watch those LGBT guys.
Allah al-Musta'an.